Good morning, children. In previous lecture, I have discussed about adsorption, type of adsorption, sorption, etc. And also we have discussed about the differences between physisorption and chemisorption. Today, our topic is catalysis. Catalyst. Already all of you are very familiar with the term catalyst. Catalysts are what? Please see. Catalysis. Those chemical substances which enhance the rate of reaction without consuming themselves during the reaction are known as catalyst. And the process involving the use of catalyst in a chemical reaction is known as catalysis. Naturally, catalyst does not consume during the reaction. Some reactions which are very slow, in presence of catalyst, the reaction enhance. In broader sense, in old concept, the catalysts are classified in two parts. One is positive catalyst, other is negative catalyst. The positive catalyst is one which enhance the rate of reaction without consuming themselves, and the negative catalyst is one which retard the rate of reaction without consuming themselves. But in broad sense, a catalyst means those additional substances of the reaction which enhance the rate of reaction without consuming themselves are known as catalyst, and the chemical reaction which proceed in presence of catalyst are known as catalysis. Now, the question is, how catalyst increase the rate of reaction? Look the graph. A catalyst decreases the activation energy of a chemical reaction and shortens the path of the reaction, and hence the rate of reaction is increased. Now look this graph. This is the graph of a chemical reaction in which reactant energy of reactant is here, energy of product is this. Energy of reactant is more than the energy of product, means this reaction is exothermic. This is the activation energy. It is uncatalyzed reaction. The blue line is uncatalyzed reaction. When the catalyst is added to the reaction, the activation energy is decreased. Look this graph. The red line is showing the graph of the reaction, graph between active energy and progress of reaction in presence of catalyst. You see, ER and EP remain same, delta E remains same, only activation energy is changed. So EA is the activation energy without catalyst, and E dash A is activation energy in presence of catalyst. We see that E dash A is less than EA. It means the path of reaction becomes short and the reaction, the rate of reaction is increased. Now, what catalyst does? Look this point. A catalyst does not affect ER, EP and delta E of the reaction. This is one point. Second point is, a catalyst does not initiate the reaction, only it enhances the reaction. Suppose the reaction is not occurring by its own, then the catalyst does not initiate the reaction, only it enhances the reaction. It means the reaction may proceed in absence of catalyst, only its rate is enhanced. Now, the next topic is promoters and poisons. Promoters are substances that enhance the activity of a catalyst. While poisons decrease the activity of a catalyst. Now, for example, and in Haber's process, N2 gas plus 3H2 gas gives 2NH3 gas. Iron solid is catalyst and molybdenum solid is promoter. Catalyst enhance the rate of reaction while promoter enhance the activity of the catalyst. So here Fe solid act as catalyst while MO solid act as promoter. Now see, this is a very common example in your life that if students are reactant, your teacher is catalyst and the principal is promoter. Teacher activate the students and principal activate the teachers. So from this analogy you can understand the concept of catalyst, reactant and the promoter. Our principal is promoter, principal activate the teachers and teachers activate the students. It means students are reactant, teachers are catalyst and principal is promoter. Now see next example, it is for poisons of the catalyst. The example is in the Haber's process for the manufacture of ammonia, the presence of H2S gas reduce the activity of iron catalyst. So H2S gas act as these poisons. It is not promoter. Now the next is type of catalysis. This is homogeneous and heterogeneous catalysis. By the term homogeneous and heterogeneous, you can easily understand. Homogeneous means the same phase. Heterogeneous means different phase. Now see the note. Homogeneous catalyst. Homogeneous catalysis. When the reactants and catalyst are in the same phase, don't confuse phase with state. Both may be same state but will be different phase. Suppose you are adding mustard oil to water. Mustard oil and water both are in liquid state but they are in different phase. So when the reactants and the catalyst are in the same phase, that is liquid or gas, the process is said to be homogeneous catalysis. Now see this example. Two examples here I have taken. This example is oxidation of SO2 to form SO3. Look, 2SO2 gas plus O2 gas gives 2SO3 gas. The catalyst is nitric oxide, NO. NO gas is catalyst. So here what you see, the reactant and the catalyst are in same phase. In new book of NCERT, there is a slight change in this. The change is the reactant, catalyst and the product should be in the same phase. So those will be homogeneous catalysis. Now the second example is, this is cane sugar. This is hydrolysis of cane sugar. So C12H22O11 aqueous plus H2O liquid, both are in liquid state. Your catalyst H2SO4, it is also in liquid state. This is C6H12O6 glucose aqueous, it is in liquid state. C6H12O6 aqueous fructose, it is also in liquid state. In above example, both the reactants and the catalyst are in the same phase. Now the second one is heterogeneous catalysis. Look these notes. The catalytic process in which the reactants and catalyst are in different phases is known as heterogeneous catalysis. Now look this example. The first example is oxidation of SO2 to form SO3 in presence of platinum solid as a catalyst. Now see, SO2 gas, O2 gas, but platinum solid, it is catalyst which is in solid state. So reactant and this catalyst are in different phase. Now the second example, the well-known example, Haber's process for the production of ammonia. This N2 gas plus 3H2 gas gives 2NH3 gas in presence of iron solid. This, the reactants, even products here, and this catalyst. Reactant products are in gaseous state, while the catalyst is in solid state. The third example is vegetable oil liquid, H2 gas, hydrogenation of vegetable oil, and the in presence of catalyst nickel to give vegetable ghee. This is solid. It's a very good example because the one reactant is liquid, second reactant is gas, product is solid, and your catalyst is solid. So this is the very good example of heterogeneous catalysis. Now, next topic is very important topic. This is adsorption theory of heterogeneous catalysis. Now there are two theory. One is old theory and second is modern theory. In old theory, so look the notes. According to this theory, reactants in gaseous state or in solution are adsorbed on the surface of the solid catalyst. The increase in concentration of the reactants on the surface increases the rate of reaction. And adsorption is exothermic process. The heat of adsorption is utilized in enhancing the rate of reaction. So suppose we are taking example of the production of ammonia by Haber's process. So N2 gas, H2 gas, both are in gaseous state. Suppose the catalyst is iron solid. So on the surface of iron solid, N2 gas and H2 gas both are adsorbed. So naturally, the concentration of reactant and number of moles per unit volume of reactant is increased. It means the concentration of reactant is increased. So already we know in chemical kinetics, as the concentration of reactant increases, the rate of reaction increases. Now the first concept is during adsorption of gas on solid, the concentration of reactant is increased and hence the rate of reaction is increased. At the same time, already we know in previous lecture, adsorption is exothermic in nature because there is formation of bond between the reactants and the adsorbent, surface of the catalyst. So, adsorption is exothermic in nature. Here delta H is negative and heat is released. So, the rate of reaction is increased by two ways. One, due to increase of concentration of reactant, and second, due to release of heat. The release of heat also enhances the rate of reaction, and increase of concentration also increase the rate of reaction. So that one is the old theory of catalysis. Now look this modern theory. The modern theory is the combination of intermediate compound formation theory and the old adsorption theory. See, modern theory is not ignoring the old theory. It also accepts the old theory, and there is one addition. That addition is there is formation of intermediate complex formation is there, and in modern theory it is also accepted that there is increase of concentration of reactant and release of heat which enhance the rate of reaction. Now this mechanism of this modern theory involves 5 steps. Now step 1 is what? Diffusion of reactants to the surface of the catalyst. Now catalyst surface is there. On the surface of catalyst, reactant molecules come. Step 2, adsorption of the reactant molecules on the surface of the catalyst. It means the reactant molecules are adsorbed on the surface of the catalyst. Step 3, occurrence of a chemical reaction on the catalyst surface through the formation of intermediate. Now, fourth topic, desorption of the product from the catalyst surface to make the surface available again for more reaction to occur. Now, fifth step, diffusion of products away from the catalyst surface. Now, look this example. Suppose A plus B plus C, I have taken it. A and B are reactant, C is catalyst. So, on the surface of catalyst C, reactant A and B are diffused and adsorbed. So, it is step 1 and 2 I have mentioned here. Now, when A and B are coming on the surface of catalyst, they come closer to each other. And step 3, they form intermediate complex. Look this figure, A, B, C. This is intermediate complex. Intermediate complex I can symbolize by I, intermediate complex. And step 4 and 5, please look, AB plus C. Now, the analogy we can understand. In marriage, what happens? A mediator इंट्रोड्यूस कि भाई ये लड़का वाला है, ये लड़की वाला है, दोनों को मीडिएटर ने इंट्रोड्यूस किया एंड मीडिएटर अपने सरफेस पे दोनों को लाया एंड लड़का वाला लड़की वाला एक दूसरे से इंटरेक्ट हुआ. देयर इज फॉर्मेशन ऑफ इंटरमीडिएट कॉम्प्लेक्स बिटवीन बोथ बॉयज एंड गर्ल साइड कैंडिडेट्स एंड द mediator. So after marriage, what happens? A good mediator is one which disconnect themselves after the marriage. It means what we conclude here? A good catalyst is one which have stronger bond with reactant but weaker bond with product, such that the catalysts are available, the surface of catalysts are available for the next reaction. Now look, the next topic is important features of solid catalyst. There are two very important topics, activity and selectivity. Now, what is activity? By the name activity, you can understand the measurement of efficiency of a catalyst is known as activity. You can tell like this, the measurement of efficiency of a catalyst is known as activity. So look this note, it is the ability of the catalyst to accelerate the chemical reaction in case of chemisorption. Already I have told, a good catalyst is one which forms strong bond with the reactant but weak bond with the product. It means the ability of the catalyst to accelerate a chemical reaction is known as activity of the catalyst. Now you see, for the hydrogenation reaction, the catalytic activity increases from group 5 to group 11. This is for D block element, group 5 to 11. It becomes the maximum catalytic activity is shown by the metals of group 7, 8 and 9. Now, the second topic is selectivity. Selectivity of a catalyst is its ability to direct a reaction to yield a particular product. This is selectivity. For example, with the reactants H2 and CO, this is carbon monoxide, different products are formed in presence of different catalysts. Now look this example. CO gas plus 3H2 gas gives CH4 gas plus H2O gas in presence of the catalyst nickel. So nickel is selective to produce methane gas with the reactant carbon monoxide and hydrogen. This is water gas. Now, second example is CO gas plus H2 gas gives HCHO. This is formaldehyde in presence of catalyst copper. Now, in examination, if one is asked what is selectivity, then you have to write both the example. Don't ignore second one, because you have to tell with the same reactant carbon monoxide and hydrogen, the nickel is selective to produce methane, while copper is selective to produce formaldehyde. Now, the next topic is safe selective catalysis by zeolite. It is somewhat different type of catalytic action. Now, see the notes. The catalytic reaction that depends upon the pore structure of the catalyst and the size of the reactant and product molecule is known as safe selective catalyst. Now, in normal catalyst, what happens? On the surface of catalyst, reactant molecules are adsorbed. But in safe selective catalyst, the scenario is different. What is the scenario? The catalytic action is depending upon the pore structure of the catalyst and the shape and size of reactant and product molecules. Now, zeolites are good safe selective catalyst because zeolite have honeycomb-like structure. Now, ZSM5, the full form is zeolite sieve of molecular porosity 5. ZSM5 converts alcohol directly into gasoline, petrol, by dehydrating them to give a mixture of hydrocarbons. This is a very good example. So, this year in CBSE board, this question was asked. So, this question is very common. Explain the safe selective catalysis by zeolites. Now, the next topic is enzyme catalysis. Most of you are very familiar with the term enzymes. What are enzymes? Enzymes are complex nitrogenous organic compounds which are produced by living plants and animals. They are actually protein molecules of high molecular mass and form colloidal solution in water. Since enzymes are produced from the plants or animals, so these enzymes are termed as biochemical catalyst, and the phenomenon is known as biochemical catalysis. Now, these enzymes act as a catalyst. Now, there are many examples in the book, but you see, one example is inversion of cane sugar. So, inversion of cane sugar in presence of invertase. The C12H22O11 aqueous plus H2O liquid gives C6H12O6 aqueous, this is glucose, plus C6H12O6 aqueous, this is fructose. So, here inverted is enzyme and which is acting as catalyst. Now, second is conversion of glucose into ethyl alcohol. So, C6H12O6 aqueous in presence of zymase gives ethyl alcohol plus CO2. Now, table 5.2 of NCERT, look this table. For your knowledge, please make your notes. Here we'll see this is enzyme, source and enzymatic reactions. So, invertase, the name of enzyme is invertase, the source is yeast, it converts sucrose to glucose and fructose. Now, second is enzyme is zymase. Here it is source is yeast. It is converting glucose into ethyl alcohol and carbon dioxide. This is diastase. The source is malt. It converts starch into maltose. This is maltase. The source is yeast. It is converting maltose into glucose. Urease. The source is soybean. Convert urea into ammonia and carbon dioxide. Pepsin. The name is pepsin. Source is stomach. In stomach, pepsin is produced, which convert proteins into amino acid. This is for your knowledge. Now, come to the next topic. This topic is very important for you. Characteristics of enzyme catalysis. Now, point 1. Most highly efficient. Enzymes are highly efficient. Now, one example I am giving here. One molecule of an enzyme may transform 1 million molecules of the reactant per minute. So, the enzymes are highly efficient. Now, the second characteristic is highly specific nature. Enzymes are highly specific because a particular reaction can be catalyzed with a particular enzyme. So one enzyme cannot catalyze more than one reaction. So enzymes are highly selective. So highly specific. Now point 3 is highly active under optimum temperature. So enzymes are having some temperature, and the temperature at which enzyme has maximum efficiency is known as optimum temperature for that enzyme. Now optimum temperature range for enzymatic activity is generally 298 to 310 Kelvin. For human body temperature being 310 Kelvin is suited for enzyme catalyzed reaction. आप क्या करते हो, आपको ठंडा लग गया तो भी खाना अच्छा नहीं पचता है, बुखार लग गया तो भी खाना नहीं अच्छा पचता. Why it is? Because in fever your body temperature is increased. So the enzymatic activity is decreased. So you must remember the optimum temperature for enzymes. Now fourth point is highly active under optimum pH. So the pH range, and that pH at which the efficiency of enzyme is maximum is known as optimum pH for the enzyme, and the pH range is in between 5 to 7. What we understand here, this is weakly acidic media. 7 is neutral, 5 less than 7 is acidic. It means the enzymatic action is decreased when the medium is basic. So in normal sense, enzymatic action is maximum in weakly acidic media, pH range 5 to 7. Now, increasing activity in presence of activators and coenzymes. This is very important topic. What is coenzyme and what is activator? Actually, coenzyme and activator both increase the efficiency of the enzymes. The enzymatic activity is increased. See the note. The enzymatic activity is increased in the presence of certain substances known as coenzymes. These are small non-protein vitamin. Is present along with the enzyme. The catalytic activity is enhanced considerably. To understand this concept, coenzymes means like enzyme. Since enzymes are organic materials, so coenzymes are also organic material, and these are nothing but vitamins. So generally doctor prescribes some medicine and they write some tablets of vitamin. Why? Because in presence of that vitamin, the enzymatic action is increased. Now see activators. Activators are generally metal ions like Na+, Mn2+, CO2+, Cu2+, etc. These metal ions, when weakly bonded to enzyme molecules, increase their catalytic activity. So look this example. Amylase in presence of sodium chloride, NaCl, that is in presence of Na+ ions, are catalytically very active. So to understand in very normal way, you can tell coenzymes are the materials like enzyme. I mean coenzymes are organic materials and activators are metalloids. Now sixth characteristics is influence of inhibitors and poisons. Inhibitors and poisons both are having same sense, both are retarding the activity efficiency of the enzymes. So inhibitors or poisons interact with the active functional groups on the enzyme surface and often reduce or completely destroy the catalytic activity of enzymes. Now, the example is use of many drugs is related to their action as enzyme inhibitors in the body. Just like poisons and promoters. Already you have read promoters in terms of catalyst. Just like promoter, the coenzyme and activators are playing the role, and just like poisons, these inhibitors or poisons are playing the role. Now, the next topic is mechanism of enzyme catalysis. For biocandidate, it is very easy because they have read already. Actually, the mechanism is based on key lock model. Already we have seen the characteristic. Characteristic is that enzymes are highly selective. It means a particular key is useful for opening a particular lock. This model is key lock model, and see some notes are there. Please look this. There are a number of cavities present on the surface of colloidal particles of enzyme. These cavities are of characteristic shape and possess active groups like NH2, COOH, SH, OH, etc. The molecules of reactant, substrate, which have complementary shape of cavities of enzyme fit into this cavity just like a key fits into a lock. So it is known as key lock model. Now look this figure. Please look this figure. This is substrate and this is enzyme. It is just like a key and this is just like a lock. You look, this key has complementary shape of the substrate. This is lock. Now key is fit into this and at last the lock is opened. You are having your key, enzyme is here and these are the product. Now the steps, please look the step, please see the notes again. In step 1, E plus S. E is enzyme, S is substrate, reactant, form ES. This is intermediate complex. And in step 2, ES is converting into E plus P. This P is product. So this is key lock model. And one advanced model is induced fit model. So induced fit model. In that concept, although induced fit model is not given in your NCERT syllabus, but to understand this, an enzyme, a substrate induce the enzyme to make its cavity according to the shape of substrate and they convert into the product. So that one is for your higher classes. Now the last topic is, please see the note, see the NCERT book, table 5.3, that is catalyst in industry. So look, Haber's process, this catalyst is used, make the note. In most old process, you see, in manufacture of most old process for the manufacture of nitric acid and contact process for the sulfuric acid. Now at last the homework is in text question 5.4, 5.5, 5.6. Look this in text question. Point 1 is 5.4. Why is it necessary to remove CO, carbon monoxide, when Ammonia is obtained by Haber's process. Think over it. Why CO should be removed? It means CO is not useful for that. So think over it. You can discuss in next class. Why is the ester hydrolysis so in the beginning and become faster after some time? You have to think and make the notes, write the answer of this. What is the role of desorption in the process of catalysis? You can write the answer of this. Today it is enough. Now in next lecture we will discuss the concept of colloids. Thank you.